Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Sidra Mahmood and this is lecture number 29 of Nuclear Analytical Techniques. The topic of our lecture is comparison of neutron activation analysis and isotopic dilution analysis with other methods, part 2. We have discussed it earlier. This lecture has been comprised of two parts and this is the second part of the lecture, comparison of neutron activation analysis and isotope dilution analysis with that of the other methods. The part 1 is described in lecture number 7. So here we start the lecture. First of all, we will discuss the key concepts. The key concepts of this lecture is the introduction. First of all, we will discuss that how neutron activation analysis and isotope dilution analysis are being compared or how they are distinguished from each other. Then is the comparison of both an neutron activation analysis and isotope dilution analysis with that of the other methods. So now we will discuss the introduction. The development of analytical instrumentation over the past few decades has undergone a sea change and allowed to detect trace elements and trace elements at sub ppb and even lower levels. So the main criteria for the detection of different for the detection of different elements was to determine them precisely and sensitively. So to achieve this goal, different analytical techniques and instrumentations were developed. So the main theme was to detect them in trace amounts, like we have the parts per billionth part and parts per million part of the substance. So different techniques and different instrumentations were developed to determine the trace elements at their minute, or we can say parts per billionth or parts per millionth level of the substance. And for this, the early 1960s trace element determinations were predominantly carried out by traditional wet chemical methods and instrumental methods. The wet chemical methods, we can say, are the classical methods in which different observations are done. Like we in a lab make different observations according to the substance or according to the um, objective of our goal, that what we are want to achieve from that one substance. So different chemical analysis were done in the lab in which a stepwise process is involved, in which like we observe the substance first of all and make different observations. Then hypotheses are done according to those observations, theories are made, calculations were done, and at the end different conclusions and results were constructed. So the wet chemical methods are wet chemistry is also called the bench chemistry, as different tests or different chemical analysis were performed at the lab benches. It is most analyzing and is done uh, at different liquid substances or liquid phase of the different mixtures. So that's why when we are dealing with different liquid phase substances and make different observations and analyze and conclude different results, that's why it is also named as wet chemical analysis, or we can say wet chemistry. Then we have the instrumental methods. The instrumental methods are, on the other hand, comprise of the chemical analysis in which the different devices or different science technologies, or we can say different instrumental techniques are being used in analytical branch of chemistry, in which we say that this is the instrumental methods. Like we have different instrumentations, we make different instrumentations according to our research or our project, and by using those instrumentations or the we can say the method or technology being used instrumentally, or any instrument is involved, then those methods are known as the instrumental chemical analysis methods. They we can say that they have high sensitivity, and they can detect very low or trace element substances, and in the same way we can say they make the simultaneous detections. They have high capabilities, high speed, and they have automated operation of modern instruments. They When they are compared with that of the classical methods of analysis, they have the predominant dominance to that of those classical methods. Different instrumental measurements are done by scientists according to the instrumentation which is being used in that particular instrument. Different chemical analysis are being done by using traditional wet chemical and instrumental methods. It wasn't until the development of atomic absorption spectroscopy in late 1960s that the clinical community realized about necessity of a highly sensitive trace analysis techniques that could be automated. We use those trace chemical analysis in which the automated processes are used, like automated graphs are being made on the screen, so they are more reliable, and we can say that they are more sensitive and more precise because they have automated versions. Before those automated versions, the conventional methods are being used in which instruments are used, although, but they have no graphical, or we can say the automated representation of the results. But due to the updated versions of a new instrumental or a new automated spectrophotometers, they can analyze or make results automatically, and in this way we can conclude the results more precisely. And this all started after the development of atomic absorption spectroscopy in late 1960s, as the community realized that they have to be more precise, or they need more or highly sensitive instruments for their trace elemental analysis. And then with the advent of ICP, or we can say the inductive coupled plasma technology, or on the other hand, when these ICP technologies are coupled with other techniques for more precise and more sensitive determinations of the results, they make more precise data and more accurate results. Different techniques are being coupled, like in this ICP and atomic emission spectroscopy are being coupled to make more precise results. And in the same way, inductive coupled plasma and mass spectrometer are coupled with each other to make the results according to the goal or the objective of the research. So these coupled technique, or we can say that the mutual techniques, in which the mutual benefits from both the techniques are being done, were developed after 1980s. And as a result, we can say that neutron activation analysis, atomic absorption analysis, and inductively coupled plasma with atomic emission spectroscopy, or inductively coupled plasma with mass spectrometry, or even X-ray fluorescence are in tough competition. So as both or we can say these all the techniques are used for their own analysis, in which they have their own benefits, and we can say that they have their own sensitivity and detection limits, and they have their own precisability and durability. So all these techniques are being competitive with each other, as they have very low detection limits, and they have they are highly sensitive, so they are competing with each other. And in the same way, we can say that the all these techniques are being used according to the theme, or we can say goal or objective of the study. If we are dealing with the emissions, we use the atomic emission spectroscopy. If we are dealing with absorption, then we are we are using atomic absorption spectrometry, and so on. All of these techniques have their own benefits, but they have their own detection limits, and in this way they are competing with each other. But nowadays, the neutron activation analysis has emerged as a front runner between various analytical techniques for trace element determination. As if we want to say that which technique is more reliable and more sensitive and has more durability, then we say that neutron activation analysis, after doing thousands and millions of detections by using neutron activation analysis, and with that of the other activation analysis technique, scientists came to the idea that neutron activation analysis has the best detection limits, and has high sensitivity, and is mainly used for the trace elemental determinations. However, all the other techniques have their own detection limits, but neutron activation analysis is far more better, or we can say the front runner among all those techniques that are being used for the different elemental determinations. The comparison of neutron activation analysis with other trace element analysis methods, especially with regard to size and types of sample, is given as on the other slides we will discuss that how this neutron activation analysis is considered as the superior technique than those of the other analysis technique. It has its own specialty in the determining of the uh, minute size of the sample, and the types of the sample, and the trace element determinations. So how it is affecting, or how is the superiority of this neutron activation analysis with those of the other analysis technique will be discussed in the other slides. So now we will determine, or we can say we will compare the neutron activation analysis and isotopic dilution analysis with that of the other methods. As we have discussed the neutron activation analysis and isotope dilution analysis separately in different lectures, now we are comparing both these techniques, like neutron activation analysis and the isotope dilution analysis, with that of the other methods, how they are competing with the other techniques and with each other. It may be mentioned that isotope dilution analysis is another ideal technique for trace element analysis, though it has limitations of being uni-elemental and destructive. So, the superiority of neutron activation analysis over isotope dilution analysis is being discussed in the first point of this comparison, as isotope dilution analysis has its own detection limits, and it can also determine the trace elemental analysis. It can also make detections of very small or minute elements, but it has a drawback, or we can say a limitation, that it can determine only one element, or we can say uni-elemental determination can be done at once, and also it is considered as a destructive technique. While on the other hand, neutron activation analysis, we can do multi-elemental detections at once, and it is not a destructive technique, and we can say it is the non-destructive technique as compared to isotope dilution analysis. So, on contrary, neutron activation analysis is the non-destructive, as integrity of the sample is not changed in any manner. Like sample is not changed, or we can say not manipulated, or no alterations is done in the sample. So sample is when we have put into the instrument, and when analysis are being done, and after analysis the sample is in the same condition, or we can say in the same manner, or we can observe the sample. It is not destructed by any radiations or exposures or any other different contaminations, or we can say it has no changed in, we can say no change in the in the composition of the sample occur at the end of the conclusions or results. Sample remains same throughout the analysis. So a neutron activation analysis is considered as the non-destructive technique. So now we will move towards the other comparisons. The analytical approach of neutron activation analysis is that the most of the elements is primary uh, determined by using very sensitive instruments, and due to this the technician time per sample analysis is very low, and this produce a highly efficient and effective results in a very economical way. So the main advantage, or we can say the most distinguished analytical approach of neutron activation analysis is that they have a very efficient detection limits. It is highly sensitive, produce trace elemental analysis with very economical, or we can say low cost analytical approach. The next is that neutron activation analysis is a multi-element technique, in that many elements can be analyzed simultaneously in a given sample by recording spectrum without changing or altering the apparatus, as is necessary in atomic absorption spectroscopy. So it is an multi-element instrumental analytical technique in which we can determine simultaneously a different elements precisely and sensitively. Neutron activation analysis has an advantage that it is a multi-elemental, non-destructive analytical approach in which many elements can be determined simultaneously, and we can record their sample spectrum separately without any we can say destructions or any manipulations. So their sample spectra can be obtained precisely, and the multi elements can be recorded in the form of spectra sensitively and very selectively. As in atomic absorption technique, it is required that if we are dealing with multi-element detection, we have to alter the apparatus, like we have to make different alterations in the instrument as to determine the precise data or precise result for a selective element. But in case of neutron activation analysis, there is no alteration in the instrumentation is required. The other comparisons comprised of that neutron activation analysis is fast in that for many elements, several samples can be irradiated at a given time and counted later on following a given decay schedule. So, how they are decaying or how much is the half-life time period for a selective element, it will determine that how these elements can be determined precisely. So this is a very fast technique in which a selective element can be determined very fastly, or we can say rapidly, or within a second the elements can be determined and a graph can be plotted on the screen, so that the element can be precisely determined on the basis of their mass to charge or whatever is the observation for the spectrum. They are determined according to their uh, conclusions or results that are obtained on the spectrum. So this technique has an advantage that it is a very fast technique. It can rapidly determine many elements simultaneously, and a significant advantage of neutron activation analysis is its sensitivity to trace elements. Like a trace elemental analysis can be determined precisely and sensitively by using neutron activation analysis. So the sensitivity obtained by neutron activation analysis is a function of the neutron absorption cross-section, available neutron flux, irradiation time, resolution and efficiency of the detector, matrix composition and the total sample size. So these are basically the factors that are playing an important role in determining or in obtaining the sensitivity of, or we can say the required sensitivity for the neutron activation analysis. So these factors, those are the neutron flux, the absorption cross section, the irradiation time, the resolution and the efficiency, that how much efficient is our detector, the matrix composition and the total sample size. These all factors are playing an important role in determining, or we can say in making the neutron activation analysis a more sensitive and reliable technique. It is observed that neutron activation analysis show much lower detection limits for most of the elements compared to atomic absorption spectroscopy and X-ray diffraction, or sorry, X-ray fluorescence technique. So it has the superiority over atomic absorption and X-ray fluorescence in the way that it has more lower detection limits for most of the elements as compared to those detection limits that are obtained by using atomic absorption spectrophotometer and X-ray fluorescence. So the data made by making different detections for different elements using both X-ray fluorescence, atomic absorption and neutron activation analysis techniques. While neutron activation analysis showed the significant trace elemental detections, and hence it is considered as the superior technique as compared to atomic absorption and X-ray fluorescence. And that is the reason that neutron activation analysis is now a more acceptable technique to the scientific community and industry. Now we will move towards the isotope dilution analysis. Now we will compare the isotope dilution analysis with that of the other methods, that how isotope dilution analysis is playing its role or imparting its role in determining different elements, or we can say different elemental analysis is done by using isotope dilution analysis. So isotope dilution analysis is primarily a destructive analytical method where it is essential to dissolve the sample and hence its identity is lost. So in previous slides we have studied that neutron activation analysis is a non-destructive technique in which the identity of sample is not changed throughout the analysis, while in case of isotope dilution analysis, the identity of sample has been changed, or we can say variations are done in sample when we are analyzing it by using isotope dilution analysis. That's why we consider isotope dilution analysis as a destructive analytical method in which the sample is dissolved in any we can say in any solution, and due to which its identity has been lost. So the sensitivity of isotope dilution analysis is often restricted by the specific activity of the radio tracer. We are using, or we are dealing with different radio tracers in isotope dilution analysis, and that radio tracer is determining the sensitivity of that isotope dilution analysis technique. So it is dependent on the specific activity of the radio tracer. And again, the availability of a radio tracer is very essential, as we are dealing with the radio tracer in isotope dilution analysis, and the sensitivity is based on that radio tracer. So the availability of that suitable radio tracer is very important, and that is the reason that we cannot say that isotope dilution analysis is a universal technique, because if we haven't we haven't, or we can say we have not available that particular radio tracer, then that isotope dilution technique, or we can say isotope dilution analysis, is not applicable. So that's why it is not considered as a universally applicable technique, because it is dependent on some factors, and if those factors are not available, then this technique has no we can say has no reliability, or no dependent, as it has this technique has dependency on many factors. So due to that dependency, it is not universally applicable. So now, due to less sensitivity and less reliability, it has some good factors, that instrumentation of isotope dilution analysis is very simple and less costly than that required for neutron activation analysis. So isotope dilution analysis is considered as much more simpler as compared to the other techniques, as it requires a radio tracer and a radio active component for its determination of a different analysis. As it all the sensitivity depends upon the main component, which is the radio tracer, and is being used in isotope dilution analysis. So the if we talk about the instrumentation of isotope dilution analysis, then that instrumentation is very simple and economical, while if we consider the instrumentation of neutron activation analysis, it is far more advanced, unique, and we can say much more updated version, due to which it is much more costly and is not as economical as that of isotope dilution analysis, due to which we can say that the sensitivity of neutron activation is far more better than that of isotope dilution analysis, just because of the presence of highly sensitive and highly effective instrumentation in case of neutron activation analysis as compared to isotope dilution analysis. And availability of nuclear reactor puts another limitation for neutron activation analysis, whereas radio tracer based isotope dilution analysis can be carried out at any place far away from the reactor location. As we have discussed it earlier, that neutron activation analysis instrumentation is far more sensitive and is much more costly, just because of the presence of highly sensitive and costly instruments, like we need a radio sorry we need a radio tracer sorry we need a nuclear based reactor reactor in case of neutron activation analysis, while in isotope dilution analysis we just need a new radio tracer or a radioactive compound. So in case of isotope dilution analysis we need a radioactive compound, while in case of neutron activation analysis we need a nuclear reactor. And the source of nuclear reactor is much more costly as compared to the radio tracer component. The sensitivity lies in the behavior that the nuclear reactors are highly efficient due to the presence of highly effective instrumentation inside those reactors. And that is the reason that neutron activation analysis can be done at only a very specific area or specific field of study, while in case of isotope dilution analysis can be done at any where we are having a nuclear or we can say radio tracer component. So due to this, neutron activation analysis is advanced technique, it is sensitive technique, it is not as much simpler as compared to the isotopic dilution analysis, and isotope dilution analysis is a very simple and generalized technique. These are the sources from which this whole lecture has been taken. Then assignments that find more about neutron activation analysis and discuss which is more convenient technique, neutron activation analysis or isotope dilution analysis. Thank you.